Hey y'all, I don't know, I'm feeling like I'm in that phase where I need an intro. I don't know what I'm gonna say yet, but I'll be practicing on that and we'll get back to that. But today, I think I really want to do a story time because I got a story to tell about the absolute worst trucking company I've ever worked for. When I tell this story, like, sometimes it takes me back and I get a little mad, but I promise you these days, sometimes I look back and I just be laughing at it. But nonetheless, it was freaking horrible. I should let it be known what my experience was at said company. So let's rewind about a year and a month back, because I started working with this company July 8th of 2019. I was working with a company named Wiley Sanders, and everything was all good, you know. During orientation, I didn't have any issues or nothing like that. But the time comes where it's time for us to go out with trainers. So, mind you, their training process is like 10 weeks long, right? So, that's fine and dandy. You know, they did say that they had automatic trucks, but I was going to be training with a trainer who had a manual truck. That's fine. I'm fresh out of school, so I still know how to drive manuals. Like, I didn't have a restriction. We only used manuals. Now, I done been spoiled in this here automatic. If I have to go back to it, I might be a little rusty, but I was still pretty good back then, so that wasn't an issue for me. So, you know, they give me her phone number, say, okay, give her a call, let her know that you're going to be her trainee, and yada, this, and the third, y'all can touch base. As she's giving me the card, she gets real serious. The lady in the office, she's like, listen, this lady is a little bit unorthodox, and you know, her teaching style is a little bit different, but just let me know if you have any issues, okay? Just let me know. So that was strike number one. I should have been like, what you talking about? Give me somebody else. I'm not gonna be going there with this. Like, that was strike number one for me. I'm just like, that's weird, but okay, all right. So I gives the lady a call, and you know, just off rip from the sound of her voice, I was like, oh Lord, what in the crap is going on here? So long story short, but a few things you do not talk about in the truck should be: number one, politics; number two, religion; and number three, sports. Just dead all of that. Those are some things that are like really deep rooted in people, and they get upset behind those things. But just from the phone conversation alone, she's hollering about, oh yeah, we drive manual, so you'll have to know how to double clutch. We don't do floating in my truck, so you'll have to know how to double clutch. We don't listen to rap music. I am a big Trump supporter, so you might hear me talk about him from time to time. But other than that, we should be okay. How big are you? I'm like, I'm 5'4". I weigh like 130 pounds. She's like, okay, you're small, because we're going to have to sleep on the same bed.
I only have one bed in my truck.
And I'm like, what the what? So I'm like, okay, all right. And then we get off the phone. I walk myself right back up to the lady at the receptionist desk. I'm like, yo, give me somebody else, please. Give me somebody else. She's like, we really don't have many women trainers at all, and we don't have any more available. It was a struggle for me to get her to even agree to take you in. So I'm like, y'all got any males? I'll ride with the male. That's not a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for whatever reason, they did not want to give me a male trainer. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm kind of cute. Sometimes men can't control themselves. But she was not trying to give me no male trainer. I did not get into this field to be sitting around waiting, not making no money. The type of person I am, I know how to brush stuff off really well and just stay in my own lane. So what's gonna be the worst that can happen, right? What's gonna be the worst that can happen? So I just suck it up and I pack my things up and I get ready to head out with this trainer. First day or so, it was pretty smooth, you know. She had a couple kinks about her, but I didn't think it was anything to the point where I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. She was also telling me, like, she came off kind of sweet in the beginning, and she was telling me, oh, you're a 6-weeker, you know, you probably won't even have to drive the whole 10 weeks, because if you do exceptionally well, you can get off in just 6 weeks. So, you know, as I'm driving, she's like, okay, I don't have to teach you every single thing about this, because your school actually taught you something. So I'm like, thanks. So things were kind of going smooth, and then one day, I don't know what happened to her. She just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and she just started acting like, she started acting less than a lady. We'll keep it at that. So we pull up to a shipper one day, and we're picking up this loaded trailer to take it back down to Troy, Alabama. And I was back there in the bunk, and I had realized we had stopped. And as I was getting up to go pee, she was like,
oh, you won't be able to go inside, just go pee behind the trailer, go pee behind the trailer.
So I'm like, okay. I go back there to pee, and like I had my phone in my pocket. So I take my phone out of my pocket and place it on the back of the trailer. Completely forgot about it after I finished using the restroom and got back in the truck and sat down in the passenger seat. And then when I realized, oh snap, my phone isn't in my back pocket, but we had already taken off. I was like, oh, stop the truck, stop the truck. So we stopped the truck, she stops, and I get out and I run back there. Luckily my phone is still on there, it didn't fall off or anything like that. And so I grab it and I come back into the truck, and she is looking at me like this.
You took your phone with you to go pee? Do you know how obsessive that is?
I'm looking at her like, lady, first of all, know what you're talking about before you start calling people names, because I'm so not obsessive over my phone that I happened to leave it there. And the only reason why it was there in the first place is because it was in my pocket. But you wouldn't know that because you're already making judgments about me. And then eventually, as we go down the road, she apologizes for that. So I just like brush it off, like, okay, whatever. Another day rolls around with her, and I was driving this time. We were going to get some fuel, and this truck literally came out of nowhere, just straight up cuts me off, could have took the nose off, right, and goes to the fuel island. So I'm just like, what the what? I'm upset. This lady over here in the passenger seat turning pink. She's fuming. She is upset. So I get out the truck though to go talk to the guy. I'm like, yo, why would you cut me off like that? So I get over there, I'm talking to the man. I'm finding that he doesn't really speak English well. He's like a Latino man. So I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't understand the proper etiquette for driving a truck here in the States. My trainer comes from around as pink as she could be. She comes around cursing.
What the are you doing? That's my student. You almost ruined my truck.
Whoa, girl, calm down. And so she proceeds just cursing him out, yada, yada, yada. And then she goes around to the back of his trailer, rips his seal off, and opens up his doors. And it's like,
that's what you get when you're messing with me.
I'm like, this woman, she's a few chocolate chips short of a cookie. She a little bit like on edge to be driving a truck. You gotta have more patience than that when you out here on the road, because it's so much stuff that go down. You gotta be able to have a level head out here, honestly, because you just gonna be around here mad all the time. Who got time for that? So that was another thing that struck me as weird. Then when we get back in the truck, she's discussing it with me, and she's like, oh, those people don't belong here, this, that, and the third, and yada, 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 those people this, those people that. I'm like, yo, if you feel this way about him, how do you really feel about me? Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, because yeah, what he did was stupid, but your prejudice, your racism is starting to show a little bit with how you're talking about him. We'll fast forward now to another instance where we pulled back up to the terminal, and she was basically showing me around the terminal to like the different people in the shop. She was telling me it's good to get to know the people in the shop, so that way you guys have like a rapport built, so if you're having an issue, they'll be more inclined to hurry up and get it done for you, or you know, just do things of that nature for you. And so I kind of took that with me, which is a really good tip. I give her props for that. So, you know, she's doing that, but we come across this one guy, like we see him, she's like pointing him out, she's like, him right there, yeah, that's the HNIC. I'm like, HNIC, huh? She was like, you know,
Ninja.
Hiya!
In charge?
I'm like, no, you did not just say that. Like, what? You didn't even have to say that to me. You could have just said that, kept that in your head, and tell me what his name was. That's all you have to do. You don't get cool points for that. You look crazy. You sound crazy. What are you talking about, HNIC? I'm just sitting here like, oh my goodness, how in the world are we gonna get through this? Like, how are we gonna get through this? So this was the day we were back for a little bit. So I had to wash my clothes. I was taking a shower, and I had washed my hair as well. So I was doing all this stuff on my break. Mind you, she drove us in, so this counts in my 10 hours. The fact that she drove us in, and the fact that I'm still doing all this stuff, so that way I can have clean clothes and a clean body. I get back with the little bit of time that I do have from my 10-hour break, and I try to sleep for the rest of the time that I have. It seemed like my head had just hit the pillow, and she's coming back in the truck like, okay, time to start your shift, time to start your shift. I'm like, okay then, that's fine. So we go ahead, we get started. I'm doing all right, you know what I'm saying? It's not dark out yet, so I'm fine. But then it starts getting dark, and I start getting a little tired. So I said, can I listen to my music? She let me listen to my music before, out of a headphone, just one headphone. So I was like, hey, can I do that again? And she was like, no music tonight. And so I was like, okay, whatever. So I just kept driving. Then I got tired. Like, I was tired. And so she was like, you're tired already? You're tired? I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. Very much so. My eyes are getting heavy, and I'm tired. So, you know, I'm pulling over. I'm gonna take me a nap, take me a little 30-minute nap, and, you know, I hit it again. It's like, okay, well, just don't be on your phone, because you're supposed to be so tired, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, lady, I've had it with you, especially with you talking about my phone situation, because she would get so upset that I would be on my break, and I had people that actually cared about me and checked in on me and was calling me sometimes. And so I would talk to them, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what her problem was. She would actually want me on my 10-hour break to sit up here with her while I'm supposed to be getting rest and talk with her to keep her up. And I just found that to be so hypocritical. Like, that was so just not fair, how she would try to talk about me in my phone situation. And like, I have children, you know what I'm saying? I have my mother, so I'm talking to them on my 10-hour break, because when else am I going to talk to them? I don't talk to them as I'm going down the road or driving, and that's the only time that I have available to talk to them, and I'm going to do so. So I don't see where that issue came from. I think it came from the fact that none of her children called her. She voiced some things to me while we were going down the road together. It wasn't like all bad. Like we would converse, and I would have moments where I kind of felt like, oh, this lady is kind of cool, you know, just maybe a little misunderstood. But, you know, I had a lot of respect for her in this trucking game because she knew what she was talking about. You know, she knew what she was doing. So when she would have these flashes of just like belligerency and just acting out, I would be very disappointed. I would be like, oh my goodness, like what in the world is this? But, you know, I still respected her. And a lot of my opinions, I just kept it to myself. But this night, I felt like she was being extremely unreasonable because it's dangerous, number one, to drive a big truck, period. Even when you're fully awake, and you still have to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. But if you're extremely tired, and I'm telling you, my eyes are heavy, and I'm feeling like I'm like sitting around driving like this, that's an issue for me and for you. You should at least care about your life if you don't care about mine. So I tell her I'm pulling over to get me a nap, and she's like, don't be on your phone then while you're taking your 30-minute da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, listen, lady, first of all, we share this one bed. If I'm gonna be on my phone, you're gonna see it, you're gonna hear it. That wasn't the goal whatsoever. And I was like, listen, I cussed her clean out this night. I'm not gonna lie. I was not nice about it. I was tired. I was aggravated with how she'd been coming at me these past couple days. Like, you know, people, when they sense you're nice, they try to like pick at you passive aggressively, and I catch all of it. I may not say it, but I catch it. I'm a highly emotional person. You know, I'm a Cancer. You know what I'm saying? I'm emotionally in tune, and I pick up on different vibrations. So everything she was throwing at me, I was catching it, and I was bottling it up. But I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna keep this. I'm gonna throw it right back at you. I'm gonna throw it right back at you tonight, honey. You don't know who you're talking to, honestly. So she's like, don't be on your phone. I said, listen, don't nobody give a F about that phone. I was dropping all types of F-bombs. I was like, I don't give a F about that phone. I don't give a F what you're talking about. But what you're not gonna do is keep coming for me like this. If I said I'm tired, I'm tired, okay? So leave me alone about it. Gonna go back there, catch my disease. I'll get back up when I get ready. I did all of that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I turned up on her one time for the one time. I don't know. I probably did too much in that moment. I don't care. I can admit when I'm wrong. I probably did a little bit too much because I was just mad. But the fact still remains. The way she handled me after the situation, the way the company handled me after that situation, I was pissed off. So she's like, you're gonna talk to me like that on my truck? On my truck? This, that, and the third. I said, yes, I am gonna talk to you like that because you keep coming at me sideways. For what reason though? Why you keep coming at me like this? I've been a good student. I'm respectful to you. I stay in my own lane. You know, I'm doing my job correctly. I keep driving all the time. Like, I'm driving. I'm doing majority of the work here, honestly. And you're coming at me sideways. Like, I done cleaned up this whole truck on my 10-hour break because she was a little dusty. But I'm like, I done cleaned up this truck. I'm over here trying to make sure that everything is comfortable. And you keep coming at me like I'm just like the help, like I'm less than. And I have an issue with that, and I'm not with that. And that's not what it's going to be for 10 weeks straight. So we're going to get some act right if we're going to continue forward. And so she's just like, oh, I'm dropping you off at the next truck stop. I'm dropping you off at the next truck stop. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Do what you got to do because you've been wanting to do that. You didn't really want me on this truck to begin with. Like, let's not pretend. Like, she proceeds to drive. She calls dispatch to let them know that she's finna drop me off at a truck stop. And they're like, no, don't do that. Bring her back to the terminal. Just bring her back to the terminal. And then she's like, okay, whatever. She's lying to them too on top of that, saying that I'm on my phone while I'm driving, and I call her the B word, which I don't know where she got that from. I didn't call her the B word until we got back to the terminal. So she made that up, but since she want to put it out there into the universe, you can be that if you want to be that so bad. That's fine and dandy. So when she's lying on me to dispatch. I look at her phone because her phone is on the mount. I get the number that she called to tell these lies, and I give them a call. I'm like, listen, this lady lying on me. I'm not on my phone while driving. First of all, she has a lockbox in here that I put my phone in as I'm driving. So that's a lie. And if you guys need it, I can get you some phone records, so that way you can see I've never sent a text or a call, and you can match that up with my logs, since this broad want to lie. And then that's when she talks to me, well, I don't know if she's making phone calls or texts as she's driving, but you know, I've seen the light of her phone before. I'm like, okay, whatever. So they're like, listen, you're not fired. We're just gonna get you a new trainer when you get back to the terminal, so don't worry about it. What I want you to do is go to the back and let her just drive you back, pack your things up, and get ready to, you know, just come back to the terminal, and we'll go from there. So I'm like, okay, bet. I do as I'm told. I get back there, I'm packing my stuff up, and I got my headphones in my ear so I can listen to music as I'm on the way back. So as I'm on the way back, in between the songs, I hear her voice. I don't know if she's talking to me or if she's talking to someone else, but I could care less at this point. I could not care less, honestly. I'm like, I ain't never got to see you again. What you say at this point really don't matter, and just, I don't care. So as she's driving, I start going like this from time to time, like this, because she's hard braking on purpose. And so I'm like, this broad trying to throw me from the bump? What's she doing? And so I'm like, I take my headphone out, and all I'm hearing is speed warning. So she's speeding and she's braking hard. So I'm like, okay, she's being so petty right now. So I proceed to take my headphones out, because mind you, she doesn't like rap music. So I just, you know, take my headphones out. Let me blast this here music real quick one time for the one time. So I'm over here listening to the music, all the explicits, all of them. I want the dirty version. You know what I'm saying? I want the dirty version. Let's be petty one time. Let's be petty. So I'm playing the music. She's like, and she turns on the music to the big system, and it's like some Latin music playing. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can turn up to that too. You know, I'm over here doing a little dance, whatever, because she don't really have like a curtain like this. It was just like a little makeshift curtain she had with like a flag or something. So, you know, I'm up here, I'm dancing to it, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I like this too, you know, I'm diversified, diversity, I like that too. And so she get mad at that. She cuts the music off. So I proceed back to my bunk. You know, I'm like, whatever. This lady's so mad right now. It's kind of funny. So I'm packing my stuff up after my little dance session, you know, playing around with her. You know, I called my mama up, and I was just like, Mom, this lady, she playing around with me. She don't know what's really going on, and she just being rude, this, that, and the third. I'm telling my mom everything that went down. I told my mom I cursed her out. My mom is getting on me. She's like, yo, I didn't raise you to be cursing out your elders, this, that, and the third. I'm like, Mama, I know. And I really feel so bad about that, because that's not in my character. It's like the way she's been doing me these past few days. I feel like I can't respect somebody that's not respecting me. And she was just like, listen, I know, but it's about to be over soon, but I didn't raise you like that. And so to make my mama proud, like, she was still on the phone with me, I even apologized to the lady. I'm like, listen, I apologize for cursing you out. I could have handled that better. And honestly, I could have ripped her a new one without saying the curse word at all. Honestly, I have the vocabulary to do such things. So I could have used my vocabulary. But you know, I took the easy way out, and I just started dropping F-bombs. And that was a problem on my behalf, because we probably could have got past it that night. We probably could have, you know, if I would have said what I had to say calmly and with my vocabulary, and just let her know, checked her in the way that I can do. But it is what it is. That's what happened. And mind you, oh man, yes, this is very important. I have my own luggage, you know what I'm saying? I like my luggage, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that we did only have one bed, space was limited. So I couldn't even bring my luggage. And she had supplied me with this little bitty small little leather duffel bag. She was like, listen, just use this bag, take the key things that you need, put it inside this bag because you can't bring your luggage. So I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. I don't want to use your stuff. Like, I don't know where your luggage bag. Who else had to use your luggage if they had crusty drawers up in here? Like, I'm like, ugh. But I'm like, all right, I guess. So I had to put my things inside of her luggage, and I had my vehicle at the terminal, so that's where my luggage was. So as we're getting closer, I'm like, oh man, my stuff is inside of her stuff. She about to probably act the donkey because of this. So as I'm getting my stuff together, I got it all like sitting in piles, you know, ready. I'm just waiting for it to pull up so I can go ahead and start putting my stuff in my trunk. So I'll take some of the other things that wasn't in the leather bag. I had left the leather bag on the bed, and I had took the other stuff like in grocery bags that I had, like food and different things like that, and I was taking that to my car first so I can grab my luggage and then take my stuff that was in her luggage out of her luggage and put it into mine, and then go on about my merry way. As I'm walking back up, and I have video footage of this, and I will plug this into this video. As I'm walking back up, I'm seeing things being thrown out of the truck. You guys, I'm seeing things being thrown out of the truck. I'm like, Lord, I know this broad is not touching my stuff. I know this broad is not touching my stuff. I'm walking up recording because something told me to record, and I'm seeing her throw my stuff out. I'm like, oh no, she is not. No, she is not. And so I'm like, yo, why are you touching my things? Like, you don't have to do none of this. Like, you just gotta sit there and let me do what I do. You don't have to touch my stuff. And so she's like, oh, okay, and proceeds to throw the rest of my stuff out onto the ground. I was so pissed. And so she slams the door shut after telling some I was trying to steal her luggage, which is just like, what? What are you talking about? I'm trying to steal the luggage you loaned me. Like, what? First of all, what I got to steal your luggage for? Your little leather bag? It's probably fake leather anyway. My sister hooked me up with luggage that actually matches my personality, matches what I like. I don't have no need to be stealing her fake leather bag, first and foremost. I don't steal. That's another thing. And that was pissing me off. Folks that lie and say anything to make themselves not sound like the freaking culprit. That's the thing about me. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell what I did. I'm gonna tell you what happened on my end, and I'm just gonna keep that stuff 1,000. Like, she was making stuff up, and that pisses me off when people be pulling stuff out they butt just to try to spin the narrative, yo. That pisses me off to the core. But she gonna say in the video I was trying to steal her luggage. I was like, you know what, lady, you on some other stuff. But I still had things in the truck. She shuts the door like the punk broad that she was. And so she gonna shut the door and lock it, right? And she also runs my stuff over. Yeah, she does that. She runs my stuff over. You guys, look at what she's doing to my things. She's throwing my shit out on the ground. She's throwing stuff out. Charlotte, why are you touching my things? Rhonda.
Put it in the bag.
I don't need you to do that. I can touch my own things. You didn't have to do that.
You tried to steal my luggage.
Nobody
Yeah, you had your hand. You stole my. You were stealing of my luggage.
You were
Because then
taking
I
my
had lunch.
things in this. This is my stuff as well. Ooh. Hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me. Yeah, bitch, I thought. You bet. Oh, you ran over my stuff. Okay. Okay. I was so taken aback by this whole experience. But the part that like pissed me off the absolute most was the fact that Wiley Sanders as a company completely dropped the ball. They never got me a new trainer. They basically starved me out, forced me to have to find a new job. And on top of that, when I was trying to make my complaint about the experience, and you know, I emailed over the footage as well as typed it up. You know, they said they needed it in writing. I did all of that. Nobody ever got back to me.
The message has arrived.
Nobody ever got back to me, and I have proof of all of this. I really do. I have proof of every last thing. And it was just radio silent. And that really showed me that that company had zero integrity. Zero. Not at all. It was horrible. And I don't recommend them. Like, that was my experience. I don't know if there are people who have a different experience or feel like they're just the best company in the world. But my experience with them was trash. It was very trash. And I hate the way they handled me. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot from the situation. I came out of that situation with a lot more patience and a lot more tolerance for understanding that, like, some people are just not happy inside and they're just ignorant, and they'll do anything and say anything to bring you down to their level when they see that you are, you know, on the right path and you're young and you're flourishing and you're going for the things that you want. They're really just some nasty spirited people, and they try to camouflage it, but the thing is, with the truth is gonna poke its head out. And that's basically what happened dealing with this lady. But I came out of it on the other side. You know, I'm not dead, so I'm not in jail from beating her up or anything like that, so we're good. You know what I'm saying? I really just, I can look back at it and like laugh at the situation, but back then it was not that funny at all. I was really upset because I wanted to work for the company. You know, I really did. I had a great time at orientation. The people there seemed friendly enough. It just took that one bad apple to spoil everything, and it exposed the whole operation that they didn't really care about the situation that happened. Hey y'all, I just wanted to come on here kind of quick because I'm editing the video right now. Oh, y'all do not mind these broken nails. Oh my goodness, it's just horrendous, right? But anyways, I'm over here editing the video and I'm just looking back at it. I'm like, you guys, one thing I don't want y'all to do is take me telling this story time as me being a victim, because I'm nobody's victim. That's first things first. This story was for entertainment purposes only. I am not upset about anything that happened anymore, and honestly, I'm very big on accountability, and I know a big majority of the whole situation could have been avoided if I was the woman that I am today a year ago when that took place. Like, I was a work in progress back then. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And just like, you know, I took accountability in the video of me, you know, probably doing the most. My things should have never been touched. That's point blank, period. No matter how mad I was at her, I never touched her person, never touched her body, and I certainly did not touch her things. Wasn't even worried about the woman, truth be told. I didn't care about her. I didn't care. My main thing is, once it gets to a point where people's personal belongings are being touched, that's shame on her, and it's also shame on the company for not handling the situation properly. Because with the video that I sent to them, that you guys saw in the video, that video footage, nothing at all. Crickets. I'm telling you, it was crickets. And that's just so, that just speaks to their professionalism. That's all I'm gonna say. It speaks to the professionalism. Number one, once you're stepping into a trainer role, and I know this, I was a trainer, you have to have a certain level of professionalism. You have to be able to deal with different types of personalities. You have to understand and try to find some sort of common ground when you're dealing with people of different backgrounds. There's no way around it. If you can't do it, you should not be a trainer. And that's point blank, period. I don't care. But anyways, I ain't tripping on it. Y'all, thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a good day.